Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Buckle up, as it's a long one, and of course, listen to the end of the story to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I don't know where to start. This story happened 13 years ago. I've been previously married to my ex-husband. Let's call him John. Fake name. We met in college and immediately hit it off. I thought this man was the love of my life, my soulmate, the father of my future children. Boy, was I wrong. 3 years into our relationship, he proposed. I said yes because I loved him with all my heart. Looking back, it was the biggest mistake of my life. After being married for 1 year, I got a random message while laying on my couch and eating. I checked it, and it was from a woman named Lisa. She started apologizing and talking about how she was my husband's girlfriend. My heart sank, and I almost choked on my food. She started swearing up and down that she never knew he was married. She only found out recently when he confessed to her and wanted to break things off because he was feeling guilty about cheating on me. I was destroyed and started crying. That's why he's being so loving these days. That's why he started taking me out a lot. I realized a lot of red flags while rethinking my entire marriage. I decided to confront him when he got home. He tried to deny it at first, but started crying after confessing. He said he wanted to fix things and go to marriage counseling. I immediately declined. You're the one who ruined our marriage. Why am I supposed to go? I started packing my bags while he cried, "But your sisters know." That made my heart stop. Basically, my 2 sisters knew about his affair, but didn't tell me because he wanted to fix things. I didn't know how I managed to drive my car without crashing. I was filled with anger, rage, sadness. At least I slapped the living crap out of that jerk before leaving. Once I got to my sister's house, I started screaming about how could they do this to me? I'm their sister. They tried to calm me down, but it made me angrier. They said I should just get over it and let my husband fix his mistake. At that moment, I saw red. I pulled my sister's hair, then she begged me to let go, but I didn't. My other sister pulled me away, and I proceeded to slap her. I was so angry. How could they take my husband's side? I'm the one who got cheated on and betrayed by my sisters. Our parents died when we were young, so our aunt raised us until she passed away. That's why they're the only family I have, and I got betrayed by them. I left the city divorced and heartbroken, moved to another state to start a new life. I quit my job to start a new one in this city. That's where I met my now husband, Mike. Fake name. He was so sweet to me, which I didn't think much of. I thought he treated everyone the same, but he didn't. He was talking normally to other coworkers, but was sweet to me. I developed a crush on him, but got scared my feelings would get hurt again. It was a shock when he was the one who confessed and asked me to be his girlfriend. I hesitated, but said yes. We started dating for 3 years, and they were the best years of my life. He helped me heal a lot from my previous betrayals. We got married and had 2 beautiful kids. I love my family so much. My husband is the best, and my daughters are the sweetest. They're the best thing that happened to me. We've been together for 10 years, married for 7. As for my ex-husband, he got recently divorced after cheating on his wife. I wasn't shocked, but I felt bad for his wife. The jerk tried contacting me and crying about how it was the biggest mistake of his life, but I blocked him. I still have my old email, and I forgot about it. My 2 sisters contacted me there too. One got dumped by her boyfriend after he cheated on her and kicked her out of their apartment. The other also got cheated on, and her husband stole her car to run away with his affair partner. Me and my husband read the email together and started laughing. I'm happy they're getting their karma. Now they know how I felt. They wanted me to help them and to reconcile, but I wrote, "Get over it," and blocked them. I don't need garbage in my life. I only need my husband and daughters. I'm so thankful and grateful for my family. God bless them. I got to live happily while the people who betrayed me are miserable. To be honest, I'm glad my ex cheated. If it wasn't for his infidelity, I wouldn't have met my wonderful husband. God, I love that man so much. Can you guys imagine taking the cheating husband's side over their own sister? How did they both agree to this? Cheating is a choice, not a mistake. Well done for OP for moving forward and cutting toxic people out of her life. Looks like this sad experience only served her good. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Pitt Olivia says, Karma always makes an appearance at the right time. We really cannot choose our own family, and blood's definitely not always thicker than water. So happy for you that you found your person. Queen of Meh says, I'm sorry your sisters betrayed you. If I knew my sister's husband was having an affair, I'd tell her the second I found out, even if it meant calling her in front of him. Karma's a B, and I'm glad they got what was coming to them while you're getting the happiness you deserve. For context, please don't judge Edit. I said don't judge because I was his employee, not because he cheated on her with me. That never happened. I didn't get involved with him while he was with her. I, 28 female, used to be the cleaning girl at their house when they were still together, and I've known their daughter, 19 female, since then. And the truth is that she is the sweetest girl in the world and the best sister in the world. So my husband, 50 male, and I decided that our daughter's middle name would be in honor of her sister, and we named her after her. And she was so happy that she even cried when we told her. And of course she told everyone, including her mom, 45 female, and she was furious when she found out. Her mother and I have never gotten along. From the first minute, she always treated me like trash for being her employee, and on more than one occasion, she got angry when her husband took my side. On one occasion, she even blamed me for having stolen something from her so that he would fire me. But at that time, my husband paid my salary, and he knew that I would never do something like that. So I continued working at their house until they broke up. I have nothing to do with that, by the way. And since then, I've had to deal with her and her one-sided insults and hatred. When she found out that we were going to get married, she made our lives hell because, according to her, in 20 years, he never proposed to her, even though she was on his level. But we endured all that for the sake of their daughter. But once she became an adult, we stopped hearing from her until now. She called my husband to tell him that I'm a W who wants to copy her life, and that it is not fair for me to name our daughter after their daughter. And I honestly don't think that there's anything wrong with that, because we didn't choose that name thinking about her, but about their daughter, who is a girl that we love very much. My husband, of course, hung up on her and didn't pick up again. But now his daughter feels bad because her mother doesn't want to talk to her because she's angry with her too. I honestly don't know what to do. It's been 7 years since I started working for them and 5 years since I married my husband, and I don't understand why she can't move on. I haven't tried to talk to her since I had my first child 2 years ago because back then she texted me saying horrible things, and I decided it would be best to ignore her. And that's what I've been doing since. But I don't know if I can do that anymore because she's hurting her daughter with her anger. Would it be a good idea for me to try to talk to her and clear things up? Am I wrong for naming my daughter after their daughter? Edit. They broke up 5 months after I started working for them, and when I said I had nothing to do with that, I really meant it because it's not like my husband and I met when I started working for them. I've known him for at least 11 years because my mom used to work for them, and I spent a lot of time at his house when his ex was not around. She didn't like the idea of having her employee's daughter at their house. And he even helped my mom pay my tuition and helped me get ready for my college exams. So it's not like he met me and one day decided to leave his ex. We started dating a few months after their breakup and got married a year and a half later. Also, we don't live at the house that used to be theirs. We have our own house, so I'm not living her life like some of you said. We just wanted to name our daughter after their daughter because we love her and because where we live, that's not so crazy. We talked to his daughter and asked her if she wanted us to change her sister's name, and she said she didn't want that, so we're keeping it. I suspect an emotional affair. Not sleeping with someone doesn't mean you had nothing to do with the breakup. Ex-wife has a valid reason to be mad. Major Ad says, I think you're delusional thinking you have nothing to do with their breakup. It takes two to tango. She'll never like you because you were in her house, working, and her ex-husband left her and is now with you. But you weren't wrong to give your child the middle name of her half-sister. It was sweet. Kath of the North says, you're the a-hole. The ex hated you because she could see what was developing between you and her husband. I'm sure their breakup had everything to do with you, since he impregnated, then married you immediately after. And then you insult her further by taking her child's name for your own as well? I don't blame her at all for what she's calling you. If I'm being honest, I don't think that this dilemma is all that contentious. I'm fairly confident that I am in the right. But my actions have received a lot of flack from many members of my extended family, so here I am. I recently had a watch stolen after I hosted a get-together for my cousins and myself. This particular watch is an expensive gift, 15,000 AUD, from my partner to commemorate a major milestone. It wasn't until I informed my cousin that I will have to report this incident to the police in order to file an insurance claim did one of my cousins, Damien, confess. Damien purports that he stole the watch so that he could use the proceeds of its sale to assist his family, who were financially devastated by virus. He had hoped that my insurance would make me whole, thereby making this a victimless crime. As you can tell, Damien isn't the brightest kid. Had he been any plainer, his parents would have to water him thrice a week. Fortunately, Damien was still holding on to the measly $3,000 he decided to sell the watch for. So I dragged him to the place he sold the watch, hoping that the owner would be reasonable. Unfortunately, the owner was not reasonable. The owner wanted either $12,000 for the watch or documentation providing that the watch was stolen. The actions I took next may seem harsh, especially when those actions are taken against a family in financial strife. But for context, Damien and I aren't close. I don't owe him or his family anything. And while I do feel bad for whatever troubles his family is facing, there's a myriad of ways he could have helped his family without stealing a highly sentimental item from me. So I gave Damien an ultimatum. He had a week to come up with the money needed to buy back my watch, or I go to the police. He cried and begged me to just look the other way, as he had no way to come up with the money, and that a criminal record will likely extinguish his aspirations of a legal career. But frankly, I don't see how any of that is my problem. Damien then ran to his parents, who had the audacity to accost me at my own home, calling me all sorts of names that I wasn't aware I went by. Surprisingly, even my extended family at large sided with Damien. Apparently, I'm putting a useless bauble over the livelihood of my own flesh and blood. Don't mind the fact that that flesh and blood has never done anything for me. I can't believe it has come to this. Not only is Damien getting away with his theft, but somehow he managed to make me face the music that he wrote. Despite my ultimatum, I have let my extended family pressure me into delaying my actions for almost a fortnight now. But I'm at my wit's end and will be going to the police as soon as possible. But it never hurts to get a reality check. So, am I the a-hole? Edit 1. I'm unsure exactly how old Damien is, but he is in his first year of university, so presumably 17 to 19. I do have the box and papers proving that I am the watch's original owner, or that my partner is. However, that isn't sufficient proof to obligate the dealer to return the watch to me. All those papers prove is that I was once the owner of the watch, not that I am the current owner. I cannot coerce the dealer into relinquishing the watch unless I provide him proof that the watch has been stolen from me. Captain Vime's Night Watch says, not the a-hole. 1. Broken trust. You let them into your house by stealing from you. 2. His solution to the issue is insurance fraud. Now you know. 3. The fact his parents didn't at least accept the fact he was a jerk shows they're actually not interested in you as a person. Even if financially they couldn't sort it out then, turning it back on you shows they support him and generally don't care you were wronged. Apart Locksmith 1 says, not the a-hole. Go to the police immediately. You have no obligation to support the lifestyle of a thief. Your extended family are quick to attack you, but not one of them has offered to pay towards your loss. In order to get the insurance, you have to report to the police anyway. The Falcon He Punched says, not the a-hole. I wouldn't have hesitated to go to the police whether it was a $40 watch or a $120K watch. Actions have consequences, and if he doesn't learn that now, then he's headed for prison, if not worse. I, 24 female, used quotations because while we did have the actual ceremony, I haven't signed the legal paperwork, and I'm currently not living with him because I'm so upset. Background info. My husband, 26 male, has a cousin, Tim, 28 male, who he's very close with and often refers to him as the brother he never had. When Tim was 18, he moved out and cut his parents out of his life. This was before I came along, but apparently, Tim's parents played favorites, but they vehemently denied this and have been pressuring other family members to get Tim to admit that he was wrong and welcome them back into his life. My husband is the only one who refused to play ball, and it's been a source of tension between him and mother-in-law. Tim's mom is her sister, and he cut mother-in-law off too after she gave his son his new phone number. When it was announced that we were getting married, virus hit, and I was fine with waiting because I wanted my wedding a certain way. Plus, it was a way for us to save up more money. But then hubby's grandma got cancer, and she was sad about possibly dying before seeing the wedding. Hubby's family pushed to have a smaller virus-friendly wedding, and I wasn't really comfortable with that. Not only because it wouldn't be the wedding I wanted, but a lot of people who I wanted to be there couldn't make it. Eventually, I caved to pressure, and Tim was going to attend as hubby's best man. During the planning, I overheard mother-in-law talking to her sister, who mentioned about using the wedding as a way to confront Tim. I was horrified and told hubby, who asked mother-in-law, and she thoroughly denied this, and her sister did too. I was accused of either mishearing or making up an excuse to not have the wedding and being hurtful to grandma. I wasn't, and said that I would still be willing to go through with the wedding, but only if someone was uninvited. I was called a bridezilla and chewed out on social media. Hubby assured me that he spoke to everyone, and they all made promises to not do anything. I didn't believe them, but again caved. Then, lo and behold, mother-in-law's sister, husband, and Tim's siblings all ambushed Tim right before the wedding, causing a big fight that my maid of honor had to calm down. And then, during the actual ceremony, mother-in-law's sister had to be escorted out because her weeping was distracting, and even when she was gone, everyone could hear her bellowing out how cruel Tim was. I was so furious that I ditched the after-party and just went back to my place to pack up my stuff, and I ignored hubby's calls and texts because I was too furious to talk. After a good crying session, I called hubby and said how hurt I was that he didn't take my concern seriously, and that there was no way I would sign the legal documents until he agreed to do a do-over wedding that banned mother-in-law's sister's family, excluding Tim, and couples therapy. Some people are giving me a hard time and calling me bridezilla again, saying that no wedding is perfect and that I'm unfairly upset at hubby. I'm still pretty emotional, so I just had to check. Am I the a-hole? EMCCM says, not the a-hole. Unless you want this to be the rest of your life, do not sign those papers. Your husband and his family have all, very vocally, told you what they think of you and who they are. Hopeful Avocado says, not the a-hole. Run from this crazy family. Your husband took his family's word over yours. If he did this once, he'll probably do it again. You will never win. Waiting for a Dragon says, not the a-hole. I feel sorry for you, and sorry for your husband too. It's a shame because you clearly love each other, but unless he is willing to stand up to his family, I would think twice about marrying him. He needs to stand up to his family, and the picking on you on social media has to stop, along with them calling you names. When people typically say no wedding is perfect, what they mean is the cake looks a bit wonky, or one of the bridesmaids is sick. They don't mean that a selfish relative caused a scene before and during the wedding.